Welcome everyone to the CAT Ultra Class Mining Trucks webinar. I'm Dana Anderson, Industry Marketing for CAT Large Mining Trucks. Thank you for your interest in our Ultra Class program today. We have a lot of great content and are excited to share with you all. So let's quickly go over the agenda. We'll start off with an introduction from Steve Pangburn, who will introduce his team. Truck experts that will take you through our program today. The topics we'll cover in this session include total cost of ownership and life cycle value. We'll go over products for each of the Ultra Class trucks, value enhancements, which includes technology and attachments. Then we'll wrap up the program with a Q&A session, and I'll be moderating the Q&A coming in, so please feel free to type in your questions as you think of those, and we'll get to them at the end of the program. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Steve Pangburn.
Thank you, Dana. And as she said, I'm Steve Pangburn, Global Sales Support Manager for Large Mining Trucks. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm honored to have the privilege to be a steward of this awesome product line. And I'm very excited to introduce to you today a team of experts that are going to talk about our Ultra Class product line. My job will be to set the stage and then get out of the way so the experts can talk to you. First, we'll have Thomas Bowen, who you can see here in the slide. He's our economic modeling expert. We'll talk about TCO and life cycle, very important topics. Then Balu Natarajan, who will cover the 794 AC and talk about technology and trolley. We have Eric Brandstetter, who will talk about our 796, 797, and 798 models. And then Josh Meyer, who is our truck body expert. And while our trucks are very durable, you can't carry material on the frame rails and the top of the fuel tank. So Josh is a very important part of the team and part of the equation here. With that, let's kick this thing into gear with a quick video to get everybody going. Okay, I think we're back. And I always find myself kind of head bobbing along to that video. If that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. So with that, we always like to start with safety before we get into the content. It's part of our culture at Caterpillar, and we know it is for you as well. Therefore, we build it into our machines as a core value. And then we have enhancements that we offer through our dealer system as well. We've listed out a couple of these here. Like the camera system for added visibility, object detection for extra safety around the machines, and driver safety systems, or DSS, you may know commercially, to attack operator fatigue. And I've been at many mine sites where operations managers have talked about how helpful these features are for their mine and how they rest a lot easier knowing that those are in place and that we are helping get people home to their families safely as they came to work every night. And that's task number one. I think we can all agree on that. We want to help you in that mission. Okay, go ahead forward. Here we have the entire product line. We continue to build upon a strong legacy with our large mining truck product line with over 800 million hours of operation in all mine conditions, all applications. And that's a lot of opportunity for learning. It's a lot of opportunity to add value. And we take that very seriously. With that learning, we have continued to enhance our machines, listen to our customers, understand what delivers value, whether that be throughout the life cycle with safety, durability, reliability, or production, and ultimately cost per ton. And Thomas is going to talk to you a little bit about that coming up soon. So we have a big legacy to draw from. We take that very seriously as we listen and we try to add value back into your minds. Okay, go ahead. And you'll see the gray out there because today we're focusing in on the ultra class product line. So you see the machines that are still lit up, 320 ton and above or 290 metric ton and above is what we'll focus on today. We have over 67 million hours of operation on these trucks. A lot of success and a lot of value added out there, and we continue to learn and then we continue to invest. And the team's going to talk to you today about what that looks like and what we've been able to deliver with those and what we're doing moving forward with these products. You will note one truck in this space is grayed out. As we bid adieu to the 795 from a production standpoint, served a really good spot in our product line, but the time has come to move forward, and we have announced that the 796 will be superseding that model so that we can commonize on the 794, 796, 798 platform and continue to invest and grow in that product line and continue to add value in that space. So we still have a comprehensive offering of both mechanical and electric drive in the ultra class, but you'll see the 795 will no longer be produced. It will be supported. We'll continue to support that as we move forward. And with that, as I said, I will get out of the way and let the experts talk to you and turn it over to Mr. Thomas Bowen.
Hey guys, good morning. My name is Thomas Bowen. Thank you, Steve, for introducing me. I'm an application specialist here for Large Mining Trucks Group. I mainly focus on the ultra-class mining equipment, although I do support the entire Large Mining Trucks product line. I do everything performance, simulation, application, and today what we're going to talk about, economics. So in Large Mining Trucks, we say better bottom line because we believe our trucks provide the lowest cost per ton. We know trucks are judged on many factors. However, we believe that cost per ton is the overall factors that trucks should be evaluated on. The truck that moves a given amount of material for the lowest cost will provide the best option for your operation at the end of the day, your bottom line. Many aspects of our machines help attribute to a lower cost per ton, be it our vertical integration that allows us to extract the maximum amount of power and efficiency from our drive systems, our class-leading speed on grade, our payload advantages, our superior braking. These and other factors help our trucks be the most productive and efficient on any site. Production, though, is just one part of the cost per ton equation, as you see on your screen. With superior productivity, we must ensure that our cost of our machine does not outweigh the benefits its performance provides. TCO, or cost per hour, is a very crucial aspect of equipment ownership, and we understand that our customers watch this closely. Throughout the design and validation process, we're constantly benchmarking our equipment in terms of both TCO and cost per ton to ensure that any design decisions, new features, or other aspects that we're implementing with our machines do not negatively impact cost per ton. Some of the ways we can accomplish this are by increasing performance, payload, and productivity, or by finding ways to lower costs, be it through component design, commonizing parts, extending component lives, or improving serviceability. Further, lower costs for our customers while still continuing to provide superior value. A great example recently of this is the work that we did with our Tier 4 programs. As miners, you all know fuel is over half the cost of a truck, and fuel is a very important aspect of trucks. Our large mining trucks utilize selective catalytic reduction, or SCR, meaning that we treat our diesel exhaust with diesel exhaust fluid to meet Tier 4 Stage 5 regulations. Okay, The goal of our Tier 4 programs was to ensure that our total fluid consumption change was neutral or better than our Tier 2 machines, as not to pass additional fluid costs onto our customers. By leveraging our vertical integration and the experience from other product lines, we were able to actually produce a result that lowered fuel consumption by up to 6% compared to Tier 2, and with the addition of DEF, a total fluid consumption or cost that was less than its Tier 2 predecessor. But it's not just future trucks that we focus on when it comes to help lowering costs for our customers. Caterpillar, in conjunction with our dealers, offer many other ways to help lower the cost of your current assets. Next slide, please. There we go. Caterpillar certified rebuild and reman options are differentiators compared to our competition. Our trucks are designed to be rebuilt, and many customers utilize this option. Rebuilds performed by Cat dealers essentially produce a new truck on the same asset. Rebuild can help preserve capital by eliminating the need for new tooling. They allow operators and your maintenance crews to continue to operate and service equipment that they're familiar with, which helps you reduce the need for new training. Many customers, like I said, utilize rebuild options as part of their strategy, and some customers out there are operating trucks on their second, third, even fourth economic life. For instance, our highest hour 797 is operating about 147,000 hours. So to put that into perspective, if that truck was your child, they'd be old enough to be able to rent a car without you having to co-sign. Additionally, reman options are another way that Caterpillar and your dealer can help further lower your cost of your equipment. Reman options allow you to replace your components at PCR with remanufactured components that are a fraction of the cost of new. Reman also helps promote sustainability as we're reusing the component core multiple times. Slide. We have other options available outside of Cat certified rebuild and reman components to help lower costs. One option that we have that you might not think of is potentially adding technology to your equipment. And in this case, I'm specifically talking about MindStar Health. Balu will go further in depth on our technology options, but being a manufacturer of both the truck and the technology, Caterpillar is uniquely qualified to provide you the best solution out there for our trucks. Health on our machine is designed to interface seamlessly with Cat trucks and helps interpret the information coming from our 250 channels on your trucks. By utilizing Health, you can get real-time office notifications of the events on your trucks, but more importantly, you can plot what's happening with your truck over time. So Health allows you to track the trends on machines and compare them against your other assets to ensure that there are not any problems. By tracking trends and what's occurring on your equipment, you can proactively service your equipment and help stop a trend before it becomes an event, or even potentially a failure. A small PM is obviously much more cheaper than a failure. Health combined with the service like ECA, Health Equipment Insights, or the additional of SCOS data from your dealer can further help you extract the most value from your asset while maintaining high uptimes. Another option that we have is SCF or COF, that's self-cleaning filters or centrifugal oil filtrations. SCF and COF help keep your fluids clean while allowing you to extend your oil change intervals by up to 3 times, which help reduce fluid costs and downtime. Another additional benefit of SCF and COF is it's allowed us to increase our fuel burn to target overhauls, or the gallons or liters to overhaul of our C1 platform. So we extended our engine life from anywhere from 7 to 11%, further lowering your costs. The last option I'm going to talk about here is our Fuel Optimized engine software and our selectable engine settings. Fuel Optimized engine software allows your truck to run optimally when it comes to fuel while not sacrificing any performance benefits that come with our engines. And when it comes to selectable engine settings, all of our ultra-class mining trucks have multiple engine powers. For instance, the 794 AC has a 3500, 2750, and 3100 horsepower power options. And those options don't require a change in iron or anything of that. You can quickly configure and toggle the engine power that you're operating at using Cat ET on the machine. So there's no additional cost. This comes as a feature of the truck. And what this allows you to do is allows you to optimally configure your truck. So let's say I have a 794 AC and I've got a long flat haul. I don't need 3,500 horsepower on that long flat haul. I can operate at 2750 while not sacrificing any productivity, but lower my fuel consumption. And that further helps lower your costs. So what I just went through, these are a few of the many ways that Caterpillar and your dealer can help lower your costs and ultimately help your bottom line. If you're interested in these options or other options, please feel free to reach out to your local dealer or Caterpillar representative. Thank you for your time and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Thomas. That was a great talk about the TCO and the benefits to our customers with our products. My name is Balu Natarajan. I support electric drive trucks, global sales support for 794 technology and trolley. 790, next slide. Yeah, 794 is very special to me. I've been with this truck since its conception. I remember 794s being talked about, Caterpillar's new electric drive truck model, just a few years ago in the marketplace. Not anymore. We have tripled our field population in just 2 years, with our global 794 fleet alone reaching 124 trucks in the next few months. If we combine all Cat electric drive models, our worldwide population is more than 370 trucks. 794s themselves are operating in wide variety of applications, Tier 4, high altitude, flat haul coal, deep pit copper, you name it. 794s provide the class-leading productivity in terms of speed on grade and higher payload capability. They can be set at 3 different power settings, like Thomas mentioned, not constrained by what the hardware can do. It's what the customer needs to get the work done. It has the highest rim pull and gradability in its class. Imagine how that would help you in pulling away from shovel or poor underfoot conditions. 794s have superior retarding and braking capability, providing peace of mind to your operators in various road conditions, especially if it's wet or snowy. Operators' feedback has been positive on the handling of the truck with lower noise levels inside the comfortable cab. 794s have millions of hours of field validation behind it. We have more than 7 million hours on the drivetrain alone on the electric drive truck fleet, including the 795s. Not to mention the pedigree comes from EMD locomotives, which are now part of Caterpillar family. As far as the rest of the truck hardware, the chassis, the axles, the suspensions, all have pedigree from Unitric line of trucks with more than 1,000 trucks operating worldwide. So however you slice it, 794s are not new products anymore. The HE bodies you see on these trucks are unique lightweight bodies, which Josh will cover in a little bit detail, that complement the truck's higher payload capability. 794s also come with many technology features which we will touch on later in the presentation. Okay, fine. How are they performing, you might ask? Physical availabilities of current 794 fleet all over the world are around 90%. Some places are more than 90%, some places are less, but bottom line is the customers are very happy with their performance. The maintenance crew loves this truck as it offers the unparalleled access around the components for easier service. Overall, lower maintenance and higher component lives make this a low TCO truck. But we don't stand on our laurels. We continue to listen to our customers, continue to learn, and improve our products. So we have lots of continuous product improvement projects that we continue to execute on 794s. With that, I will transfer the baton to Eric Brandstetter.
Thank you, Balu. All right, real quickly, again, to introduce myself, my name is Eric Brandstetter. I've got about 12 and a half years of experience supporting mining trucks in product support, product development, and now as a product specialist, specifically on the 796, the 797, and 798. I'll spend a few minutes walking us through each one of those products here today, and hopefully you guys will be able to take away some great attributes of each truck. Starting with the 796, this is Caterpillar's newest 360 short ton or 327 metric ton electric drive truck, carrying the baton forward for the 795 FAC that has served us very well thus far. The 796 is available to the worldwide marketplace, including the Tier 4 and Stage 5 regulated areas. It comes offered with 3 power settings, 2750, 3100, and 3500 horsepower, which provides that flexibility that's been mentioned already to optimize the 796 performance and productivity at your site. The 796 design taps into the rich legacy of the Caterpillar mining trucks, leveraging proven structures and an engine and electric drivetrain that have logged millions of hours in mining applications. It also blends the proven architecture and industry-leading serviceability that Balu brought up with the 794. It blends it with the higher strength structures and the 5980 R63 tires to maximize your payload and productivity. This enables optimized cost per ton and is a customer acknowledged benefit versus the competition. Our first fleet has actually begun operation this year in Eastern Australia in a coal application. Now, we also know that every mine site is different and attachment packages differ as well. As a result, we've been mindful of this and efficient in our design to ensure that we can always say that we have a 360 short ton truck. We wanted to make sure that our design reflected that and that we could achieve it. That's why we're excited to offer the 796 with a 360 ton nominal rated payload for all truck configurations, including attachments. We also know that some applications require increased torque to navigate tough underfoot conditions. Caterpillar, through the power of its vertical integration, is able to unlock more drive system capability utilizing torque boost technology. On the 796, torque boost provides a burst of up to 8% increased torque, maximizing gradability and reducing the risk of a truck recovery event in tough underfoot conditions at your site. Lastly, in the 360-ton size class, minimizing operating costs can be achieved by maximizing tire performance. With a nominal target payload, the 796 AC is comfortably underneath the tire OEM load limits. This, for example, can deliver better TKPH, or ton kilometer per hour, in flat haul applications. But more broadly, it represents the results that are favorable for tire life and lower operating costs. Next slide. All right, let's move our attention over to the 797. So the 797 is the industry's best-selling truck in the 400 short ton size class. With over 1,000 797s in operation at 40-plus customer sites, we have contributed over 60 million productive hours to our customers' operations. This is more trucks and hours than all of our competition combined. The 797 has been recognized over and over as a durable, tough design, and has the lowest cost per ton in its size class. This is what has made the 797 so successful over the last 25 years. And the 797 really exemplifies what we mean when we say our trucks are built to be rebuilt. Our highest hour 797 is approaching 150,000 hours, well beyond the calculated economic life used in many purchase decisions. The 797 delivers low cost per ton while it's in operation and is changing the way the industry views economic life of mining trucks. Now, although the 797 has helped many customers achieve the goals of their businesses, we have remained mindful of a changing marketplace and continued to make improvements to the product. Over the last 5 years, we've improved the 797's overall operating costs, cost per ton, and physical availability for our customers. If you haven't evaluated the 797 in recent years, I encourage you to do so, as we have a very competitive truck versus the competition. In recent years, we've also focused our efforts on improving major component lives, as well as reducing maintenance time and touch points, resulting in about 20% less operating costs compared to the 797s produced prior to 2015. Additionally, we've evaluated and extended fluid and filter lives throughout the truck, resulting in 36% reduction in oil and lube costs. Also, we have introduced new engine calibrations, software features, and control logic simplifications to enable fuel improvements of up to 10% versus 797s prior to 2015. Now, ultimately, we know that the proof of these changes really comes through in the performance of the truck at customer sites, and the 797 hasn't disappointed. At mine sites where the 797s have been introduced recently, we have demonstrated greater than 90% physical availability. And the best part, recent customers agree. The 797 is the best it's ever been. Next slide. All right, and I'll finish with the 798. Again, one of our newest offerings. The 798 brings Caterpillar's electric drive platform to the 400 short ton, 363 metric size class as a complement to the 797F. Available worldwide, the 798 has two power settings, 3,100 horsepower and 3,500 horsepower, to match a variety of mining application needs. Currently, the 797 is operating at 4 sites worldwide, covering deep pit, medium and flat hauls, hard rock, coal, soft underfoot, and high rolling resistance applications. The 798 is really proving that it can perform in all mining applications. Additionally, we just introduced a high altitude configuration of the 798 that's capable of excellent performance up to 16,000 feet in altitude, or nearly 5,000 meters. The 798, again, leverages the same design concept from the 794 and 796, as has been mentioned, utilizing proven drivetrain and structures while delivering that same dependable performance at just a higher payload. The uniqueness of the 798, though, shines through with its ability to carry 410 short tons, or 372 metric tons of payload. This is the highest standard payload available in its size class. The 798 has an efficient design that adds strength where it counts, so it can carry more payload without sacrificing that durability or the value of the multi-life rebuild programs that Caterpillar mining trucks are known for. Like the 796, torque boost technology is also included in the 798 AC. However, to balance the higher payload, larger brakes and drive motors were added to ensure performance did not suffer. The result is an impressive 18% torque boost available on demand when the toughest underfoot conditions require extra gradability. Torque boost technology is a tremendous advancement that increases performance with higher payloads, but does not sacrifice the extremely important cost per ton. Lastly, we have delivered these 798 benefits without reducing the superior serviceability offered by the 794, 796, and 798 common platform. Generous walkways on both sides of the engine make maintenance easier and faster. Grouped service points allow technicians to work on different systems freely around one another. And an open chassis design with ground level access points provides ample room for work. Now I'll ask Balu to rejoin us and start our discussion on a few value enhancements. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the CAT technology offerings, such as autonomous trucks, MineStar suite of products, health and telematics, etc. I would like to maybe here touch a little bit on the integration of these technologies into our trucks. CAT ultra-class trucks utilize a holistic approach in integrating the technology into the base machine, using similar family of controllers, sensors, and communication devices as the base truck. The software that controls the trucks are done by the same engineering group as the base truck for consistency and portability. Technology plays a big role in enhancing machine performance, operator performance, maintenance planning, people training, etc. We are constantly pushing the boundary in terms of communication and onboard controls that provides additional benefits to customers to keep track of their equipment. Our machines have more than 250 channels of data being collected on vital performance parameters. The data being collected from the trucks can be used for maintenance planning, parts forecasting, and CPI improvements. We also have technology available to provide you feedback on road conditions. Next slide, please. CAT command for hauling, otherwise known as autonomous trucks. Can you believe Caterpillar developed first autonomous truck technology way back in 1996, well ahead of the Google starting their autonomous mapping vehicles in 2011. Autonomous hauling is becoming increasingly viable and successful among mines around the world. Caterpillar alone has 360 trucks working in 9 sites worldwide in 3 different continents, 24/7 not to mention. That's because autonomous solutions can improve safety, equipment availability, and overall productivity. We have demonstrated 20% productivity improvement over manned fleet in Australia. Autonomous becomes particularly important for remote operations where attracting and retaining skilled labor is a challenge. It improves overall safety of the mine operations. As you can see, with 2.7 billion tons of dirt hauled autonomously, we have 0 lost time injuries. Sophisticated perception technologies also allow the truck to operate safely in and around other mine equipment and personnel, even in congested areas. Autonomous trucks don't need to take breaks for lunch or shift change. They are tuned to work within specified operating parameters, avoiding overspeeding or excessive braking, saving wear and tear on components and improving availability. If something does go wrong, it will alert the mine's service department right away and provide instant diagnostic information, helping to reduce total downtime. So command for hauling is available on 793 and 797. It is under development for 794s, which will easily be portable to the rest of the electric drive trucks. I invite you to check this out through other detailed webinars on CAT autonomous technology available in this series. Next slide, please. I'm sure many of you are familiar with CAT MineStar's suite of products, such as Fleet, Terrain, and Health. When it comes to connectivity and telematics, the CAT Ultra Class trucks have the same state-of-the-art communication architecture to support monitoring of your assets for health or performance and improve maintenance planning to reduce overall maintenance costs. All of the CAT Ultra Class trucks can be ordered or retrofitted with technology offerings. On the safety side, CAT Ultra Class trucks actually come with standard 4-way camera and radar systems that will help your operators be aware of their surroundings. Under the MineStar Detect banner, we do have the safety technology products covering the obstacle detection and proximity awareness. These Detect technology offerings go one step beyond and provide alarms and back office connectivity in this space. The driver safety systems, as Steve mentioned earlier, is a very popular safety solution that monitors operator alertness. The system will alert and induce vibratory jolts at the operator's seat to avoid fatigue-induced safety incidences. MineStar Edge is a new platform you might have heard of that takes the connectivity to the next level. It offers near real-time access to the data that's more scalable and integrated. It creates an operational ecosystem that gives visibility to every aspect of your mine operations. It helps you lower your costs by leveraging cloud-based data storage instead of local servers. It's currently available for equipment tracking and production recording. More to come in this space. Please keep a watch there. Finally, CAT Ultra Class trucks all have different levels of sustainability solutions, either built in or available as add-ons. All of the technologies either reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by reducing the fuel consumption or reduce environmental degradation by extending fluid change intervals. Talking of greenhouse gas emission reductions, CAT electric drive Ultra Class trucks offer trolley assist feature, which we will discuss next. Trolley assist. Trolley assist allows CAT electric trucks to tap into utility power through overhead cables instead of burning diesel through onboard engines. This has many benefits. Chief among them are reduction in carbon emissions, along with any NOx and particulate matter reductions. Trolley assist is usually installed on uphill hauling segment of a haul cycle. Of course, you have to have suitable and stable utility power available at the mine site. Trolley needs additional infrastructure such as AC and DC substations, and overhead lines, as you can see. The one drawback with the trolley is if the mine plan changes that needs haul roads to change, the trolley lines have to be moved as well. But it can be managed through advanced planning. Trolley can reduce fuel consumption as much as 90% while the truck is on the trolley segment. It increases the productivity through higher speed on grade while on the trolley section. We have demonstrated up to double the speed on grade with the trolley compared to diesel mode. Overall, it can reduce the fuel consumption up to 40% on a total cycle basis. The CO2 emission reductions can be as much as 45% depending upon your application. It's currently available and in operational on 795 model. It can very easily be made available on other models such as 794 through 798. With that, let's watch a quick video on how the trolley can improve your productivity. So what you are seeing in the video is a trolley at 795s, one on trolley, one on diesel mode, and you can see pretty quickly which one is on trolley as the trolley truck is overtaking the diesel truck. So we clocked 28 kilometers on the trolley truck compared to 14 kilometers per hour on the diesel truck in this case. With that, I will transfer over to Josh Meyer for the next topic. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Meyer, and we'll talk about truck bodies. I've been involved with truck bodies for almost 15 years, started just checking prints and then moved into actual design. And then now I'm in the commercial and marketing space. Just want to give a high level overview of some of the offerings that we have today for the large mining trucks. We offer the widest variety of OEM specific design truck body solutions. So that's one of the most important things we want to keep in mind, that and Steve touched on it in the very beginning, the truck body is the most critical attachment on the chassis. So if you get the truck body wrong, you're not going to get the value that you expect out of your body. And one of the key value providers that we can offer that only Caterpillar and an OEM supplier can is this vertical integration and virtual validation capabilities that we have. So I'll touch a little bit more on the virtual validation and vertical integration in the next slide, but I just want to mention here that being able to design the truck and the body together and understand how those systems interact with each other is extremely important, because it allows us to predict how the life will go on the chassis as well as the body. No other competitive body supplier can offer that. Secondly, we've got a very experienced team. So we've got over 160 years of experience combined between myself and the engineering team. And we can also offer customizable solutions, whether those be custom liners or volumetric attachments like sideboards or tail extensions or reinforcement packages, and as well as custom body offerings as well. So we've got combi bodies, we have oil sands bodies. If you've got a unique application, chances are we've got something that we can use to solve that or develop something for you. So a little bit more about the bodies that we're talking about with Ultra Class today. So we've got HE, that's high efficiency. Those are on the 794, 796, and 798 trucks. You can see there we've got over 200 HE bodies in the field with over 3.5 million cumulative hours. Now that goes back to the unit rig days. That's a body design that was carried over from that truck platform and still is alive and well today. And then for 797, we've got over 1,000 of those produced and 100 of our HP bodies, HP being high performance. So that's the 797 lightweight body that we have in service today. And we've got 100 of them, as you can see there, in service since 2014. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide. Got a quick little video here. Okay, so what you can see here is an example of our ability to provide that vertical integration and virtual validation that I mentioned. So what you're seeing here is 4 ways. You can see the truck in the top left corner is actually at our proving grounds in Tucson, Arizona, where we matched that up with a virtual model of our truck body on our frame loaded with a payload. And we run it through a cycle of events. This is a V-ditch cycle that you were seeing there. What that will do is it allows us to simulate the wear and the stresses that we'll see on the truck and the frame, and we can correlate those with the virtual validation as well as in the in-iron with on-machine structural analysis. And when we see those two line up very nicely, as you can see there, we can have high confidence that our virtual validation is going to match what we see in the field. And that allows us to run these same analysis on every body that we design and have high confidence that we're going to perform and behave in the way that we expect with the truck and body combination. Next slide. So here you can see our current body offerings that we have today in the ultra class space. As I mentioned, we've got an offering for really any mining application out there, and we're in all of them currently. We've got MSD bodies. Those are our mine-specific design bodies. It's a lightweight shell body that we specify with liners. We're kind of trying to move away from that in favor of the HP and HE that I mentioned there earlier. You can see we've got those available on 797 and the 794, 6, and 8s. We do offer coal body for the 795. And I touched on the specialty body earlier. So combination body, if you're not familiar with that, that is a body that can easily flex back and forth between coal and overburden. It's a little bit oversized for overburden and a little bit undersized for coal, but it's a good kind of in between, so you don't have to have a dedicated truck to your coal haul. Oil sands bodies, that's clearly a unique application, which we offer those for the 797 and 798. And then also the HP XL, which is a special variety of the HP designed to counteract extreme forward bias on payloads. So next slide. All right, so the bodies themselves. You can see on the left there, the truck facing away from us is a 794 with an HE. It's a high efficiency body. And then the truck on the bottom there is a 797. That's got our HP body on there. You can see some pretty unique features on both of those. And they are a little bit different design too. You can see a little bit more structure on the 797 HP body than the HE, but don't let that fool you. The HE has a unique design characteristic in that it's got curved floor, curved front wall, and a curved canopy, and that curve provides its own inherent stiffness and lets you get away from using the bolsters that you see on the 797 body there. And you'll notice that thick section at the tail. It kind of wraps around up around the top rail. It makes a nice band around the body and holds everything together. We've got some patented features on both of these bodies. One is called the floating bolster. That's a unique design that we have for the ribs that allow for stiffness and flexibility. It provides that unique blend of those two characteristics that allows the body to live and perform in all mining applications. So where are we operating with those? We're in all the major commodities, as I mentioned. Copper, deep pit copper, coal overburden, iron ore, we're in all of them. Oil sands. So wherever there's mining, we've got truck bodies and Caterpillar trucks working. Why? So because, again, I mentioned that we provide the most comprehensive and optimized solution. Cat Ultra Class mining trucks are the best in the market, in my opinion. How did we get there? We've got a lightweight yet durable design. I mentioned we have these unique patented features and key engineering principles. Curve transitions, again, that's another one we've mentioned, helps reduce carryback. We've got full machine overhead coverage. That's an important thing that, again, only we can provide because we know where to put the protection to cover everything on the machine. We also utilize high quality construction. We have high strength alloy steels that we use that are from the major mills in the world, and we have clean and modern factories to produce these bodies in. We also have very high quality standards for pre-delivery inspection that we meet for every body. And again, we go through that virtual analysis that I showed the quick video on earlier for every body that we design. So we can, again, be confident that we know how it's going to perform and behave. And competitors, they can analyze their body and make some educated guesses, but they don't have that extra step that we've got with that ability to analyze the two systems together with our proprietary software. So that's the high-level overview for the truck bodies. These are, again, the lightweight offerings that we have. We can customize them with liners or sideboards and tail extension volumetric attachments as needed as well. So if you've got an application that you need a truck body for, we can solve your solution. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Josh. So that brings us to the Q&A portion, and we have had several questions come in, very popular questions about the electric drive. So let's start out with Balu. We have a question around trolley assist. And the question is, does the engine load drop to 0 and all power comes from the grid?
Thanks, Dana. Yeah, during trolley, the engine RPM comes to idle, 700 RPM. So engine runs at a very low fuel consumption to help you maintain the hydraulic systems running for steering and braking and all that, while the traction propulsion power, entire propulsion power comes from the overhead lines.
Great. So we had another question come in. The 795F had a very nice feature called blending retarding. Is this feature present in the other models?
That's a very good question, Dana, whoever asked that question. So all of the CAT electric drive trucks have a feature, what we call blended braking. That's different from blended retarding. So I will take this opportunity to kind of explain both. Blended braking is when you are in retarding, as the speed slows down, if you are coming to a stop, the service brakes automatically are blended with the retarding to bring the truck to a positive stop. So we do that below the 5 kilometers per hour type slow speeds. Now, blended retarding, yes, 795s can freely move between retarding and service brakes as needed. On 794, 796, and 798, what we have done with so much experience with the 795 and that feature, we have modified that slightly to bring in the blended retarding as and when it's needed. For example, during traction control, if you are in retarding, when traction control comes on, if there is a need, the software is intelligent enough that it will bring the front brakes, thus providing 4-corner braking, retarding on the rear axle and the front brakes on the front axle. So the truck is controlled properly. So that's kind of the difference between 795 and rest of the 794, 6, and 8. But ultimately, we want to make sure that we provide proper braking controls to the operator for safe operation of the trucks. And we achieve that by providing this feature. Hope that answers the question. If not, add some more question. We can talk about it at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Balu. So we had another question come in, and I think this one's for Eric. Width of the 796 versus the 795. By the way, I appreciate the change of the ladder access to the ground level. Good safety improvement. Eric, did you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah, so the width is a fairly straightforward answer here. The 795 comes in somewhere between 9.4 and 9.5 meters in overall width. And the 796 is between 9.6 and 9.7. So it's slightly wider, but not a major amount that we think would cause any issue.
Great. We also had a question come in involving mechanical drive and electric drive. So considering the same truck size class in a single mining operation, what drives Caterpillar truck selection towards either mechanical or electric drive trucks?
Excellent question, and gives us an opportunity to make sure that we explain, some of these attributes that our trucks have. But most importantly, let's keep in mind that Caterpillar is uniquely positioned here. We're the only mining truck manufacturer that has offerings in the same size class with both drive systems, which allows us to give the most comprehensive review and provide the greatest amount of understanding of the benefits of either drive system in that type of a situation. Now, some of the other things that weigh in on that type of evaluation are things such as customer preference. We know that there are customers that prefer one or the other, as well as there are application specifics or haul cycle type considerations that would need to be looked in a little bit deeper, as well as on the TCO front, or the cost per ton and cost per hour. What we would usually do is dive into those details a little bit deeper with our dealer and our customers in order to make sure that we understand exactly which attributes would be the best from each one of those drive systems for their use. As a result of that review, we know that we can provide two options. And out of those two options, for example, we know that we'll be able to put the best one in front of the customer, even considering the competition.
Great. Thanks, Eric. We have another one that's kind of similar to the blending retarding question, and the 795F had a class-leading wet brake system. Has these wet brakes been carried over to the 794, 796, and 798 truck range?
Yeah, I will take that question, Dana. This is Balu. Yes, the answer is yes. If you look at the wet brake system, the same system is available. What is available on 795 is available on 4, 6, and 8. And when you talk about the braking, you have to talk about the retarding as well, because these are electric drive trucks. As you all know, retarding on CAT electric drive trucks is the highest in the class range. We are almost as much as 40% higher retarding capability, and we are able to provide that continuously compared to short-term and continuous ratings that you will see in the marketplace. So definitely we are very proud of our brake system and retarding capability.
Great. So we have another question coming in. Does Caterpillar have any plans to extend the electric drive truck offering to smaller truck classes?
Maybe I can take that, and others can chime in. This is Balu again. So the Caterpillar came up with electric drive trucks in the 220 metric tons class a long time ago. And what we found out was in that range and smaller size class, the electric drives is not very productive. Mechanical trucks are very productive because of their lower overall weight and lower fuel consumption. So electric trucks make sense more in the ultra class, and that's where we have our offerings starting from 300 metric tons and above, where electric trucks, the higher weight of the electric trucks makes sense in the overall power to weight ratio.
Great. We got another question come in. How does the ultra class mining trucks team leverage supplier relationships to deliver results to your customers?
That's a very good question. I'll go again. This is Balu. We have Caterpillar has an integrated product development community that works very closely with a centralized supply chain management group. So there is a lot of leverage among various products, whether it is ultra-class trucks or wheel loaders or tractors. The engineering teams have a commonality when they are working on component designs to be able to see various opportunities and applications on different products. And they take that knowledge, they take that customer feedback when they are working with their supplier base, and that's a very good collaborative effort in suppliers understanding what Caterpillar team sees and hears from the customer and how they can continue to improve their components and parts when they are supplying subcomponents and parts to our products. So it's a very seamless way of working in the value chain from customer all the way up to the component suppliers.
Great. Thank you, Balu. I think this next question might be for Eric. On a haul profile that would see both AC and mechanical drive trucks working, as a percentage, how much less expensive is it to run an AC truck?
Sure, thanks, Dana. That's a bit more complicated question. Unfortunately, that might be a little bit better suited for a level 2 conversation. It's there's a lot of variables there, as you can imagine. We've seen instances where either mechanical or electric drive has an advantage in that type of a situation. So unfortunately, that's probably one where it's better suited to dig into some more details and get a better answer there.
Thanks, Eric. Got a couple more coming in. What is engine lugging?
I can take that one, Dana. Very simply, the torque, maximum torque that an engine provides is at a different point as opposed to the maximum horsepower. So when we talk about the engine lugging back, and what we're talking about is that the engine is slowing down to a different point on its curve where it's providing maximum torque in order to get that speed on grade.
Great. Another one, what about center cabin trucks? And is there an advantage?
I'll offer a little bit of insight there. I know that on some of the smaller off-highway trucks that Caterpillar offers, they've transitioned to a center cab style. On the LMT, what we've seen specifically in ultra class is more of a transition to autonomy than we do from a visibility standpoint and the advantages of a center cabin style truck. So that's probably the more appropriate direction that things are moving in the ultra class.
Great. So another one came in from electric drive to battery. Where is the process in research and development now? And when could we see this technology in practice? Steve, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. As Eric said, as we go out and have different forums of tier 2 and get deeper into these discussions, it's easier to have these types of conversations with specific customers. But I do want to answer that in a general sense. Caterpillar is evaluating all technologies that could be pathways for the future. And even at Mine Expo, you would have seen our underground LHDs with battery power. We continue down that path. So for us, that is how we're getting our experience in the battery world and understanding what that looks like from a cost per ton standpoint and operational standpoint. And we'll leverage that as we move forward to understand what our roadmap looks like. So we want to make sure that we get the message out that we're very aware and looking at trends and understanding what the future looks like. You know, today we have the best possible cost per ton solutions, but we'll keep an eye out.
Thank you, Steve, for that. Couple more coming in. Looks like we've got one for Josh. When it comes to running third-party bodies on Caterpillar trucks, what issues has Caterpillar seen arise? And additionally, how can CAT bodies help avoid these issues?
Okay, that's a really good one. I heard if you put competitive bodies on, the truck might explode. I don't know, just but seriously though, frame issues are probably one of the most important ones that we see, as well as incorrect weight splits, which can also drive steering and braking issues, uneven tire wear, early tire wear on the front left position particularly, which can also, with that unoptimized weight split, can give you incorrect VIMS readings. So you might be overloading the truck and not realizing it. We've had fit up issues we've seen in the field. We've had trucks over centering, front wheels coming up during the dump, not being able to dump. So those are some of the issues that we've seen with third-party suppliers with truck bodies, or with third-party truck body suppliers, excuse me. What can we do? Pretty much what I showed you in that video. We've got the ability to analyze them together and understand how they're going to interact. We've got more than just that capability I showed you too. We've got a number of other analyses that we can run. Dumping analysis. We've got a program called Rox 3D that you can virtually load the body with individual particles and dump it, and they'll flow out, and you can get a realistic example of how they will flow. Recently, we did this for a customer. We asked for some drone footage of the trucks and bodies that they had running currently, and they were able to provide that, and that gave us an idea of the material and its properties, and we were able to virtually model that, and we were able to take that drone footage and the virtual model and line them up side by side and run them, and they were almost identical. It was really impressed me even. I was shocked at how accurate that was, and it was able to recreate the issue that they were having, and we were also able to provide an updated design and solve that issue so that we were confident based on that virtual analysis that it wasn't going to happen with our body. So that's one real world example here very recently. Just last month that we've done this. So something that we're actively able to do and excited to get the opportunity. So hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Josh. So we got another one. Does Caterpillar have a plan to extend the tire life in ultra class trucks?
Yeah, thanks, Dana. This is Thomas. I'll go ahead and take that. So when it comes to extending tire life, we can't necessarily tell you that you can just extend your tire life, right? Your tires, the tire and the tire rated load and your tire life is dependent on how the tire wears and obviously the tire manufacturer. What we as CAT can do is we can help, working with Josh, help optimize, our body splits, make sure that whenever we're loaded, our load isn't biased. We don't have the weight distribution to the front where we're unnecessarily wearing out those front tires. Additionally, ways that we can help extend tire life is having a large empty weight advantage. If you think about it, the more you weigh, the more you're going to wear your tires. The 797, for instance, whenever we went from the Tier 2 version to the Tier 4 version, we didn't need to bump up the GMW. One of the things that we've noticed with the competition is that as they go through different product iterations, they're continually bumping up the GMW. And as you increase that GMW, it actually increases the load on your tires and conversely can reduce your tire life. So yeah, as far as us extending tire life, we can't make the tires extend more, but we can help you by optimizing weight splits, optimizing the weight of the truck. And yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Great. Thanks, Thomas. So I think we're back to Josh on this one. What is the current thinking on the best ways to avoid carryback and sticky material in dump bodies?
That's a good question. We've got a couple of different ways that we like to approach it from. There's two ways to think about the material being sticky and carryback. Is it the material itself being sticky, or is it freezing into the body, or is it both? So we've got solutions that potentially work for both of them. If it's freezing, the first thing I'm going to reach for is to pump exhaust heat through the body. That's probably the easiest way to solve the freezing issue. That's one of the things we face in the oil sands and in other Arctic conditions where it's just very cold and it tends to freeze in there. We pump the exhaust heat through, and it does tend to thaw that material out and allow it to flow. The other thing to do is to eliminate any tight corners. So where you've got the front wall, the floor, and the side wall all come together, that comes to a tight corner. So you want to try to eliminate that tight geometry. You put a pop-out plate, which is what we do. And then we also put a generous curved transition between the front wall and the floor. And by doing that, it's a geometrical solution rather than pumping the heat through. But it allows an open area, an open section. It doesn't give a tight area for the material to start. Because what happens is once it starts, then it grows on itself. So if you can eliminate it from starting by having that open section, it tends to reduce the amount of carryback buildup that you get. And in extreme cases, we would do both. We would put a curved transition, and we would also pump heat in there behind that. And that's probably going to the extreme to try to eliminate a carryback situation. But I have seen it, and it does work. And even heat without freezing does actually work. We had a site in Mexico that had some significant carryback issues on their 794s. And we went to the site, I got my hands on the material, I was able to squeeze it. It was like clay. You could squeeze it and it would come through your fingers. You could mold it. It was sticky. And they were having every second or third load had to come and scratch the body out with a loading tool, which was really hurting their production. And so we hooked up heat to the body, and it was a field rework. The body wasn't prepared for heat as it left the factory, but we were able to work with the customer and provide instructions and do a field rework kit and apply heat to it, and it drastically changed the situation and improved it right away. So that was a big win for getting the carryback solution that they had solved. It was essentially pumping heat into theirs work, but we've done it both with curved transitions, geometrical type solution, heat, or a combination of the two. So that's how I would approach it.
Great. Got another one for you. So taking on board your information on body integration with truck chassis, how does Caterpillar offer the flexibility of very specific body design that third-party body suppliers are able to offer?
I guess I'm not really, can you repeat it? I'm not really sure I'm following the question.
Yeah, so with what you were talking about with the body integration within the truck chassis, it sounds like some third party are offering maybe bodies that we don't. So I think the question is, how does Caterpillar offer the flexibility of specific body designs? Is that something that we work with to customize?
Wow, that's a doozy. When it's an offering we don't particularly have, I understand sometimes we may not have a solution and they have to go to a competitive offering, but that's not something that we would normally be able to analyze a competitive body on our chassis. That would be an issue of IP sharing. That's not something we want to get a hold of other competitive IP, just the same that we wouldn't want them to have that. But maybe I'll defer to Steve. He can help answer this one.
Yeah, absolutely, Josh. I think, the clean answer is first and foremost, we want to work with you on that. So we want to understand those situations where we may not have something off the shelf that fits. I mean, we do have a mine-specific type of design philosophy. So if we have an opportunity to design something new that fits the application, we're all over it. But if we get to the point where we've gone down that path and ultimately we're just not able to get there and there's a unique application requirement, then, you are able to do that. We want to make sure that in the end, that the customer has the best solution for their environment and for, their fleet. So it's possible, although we won't necessarily get in from an IP standpoint to do that. But first and foremost, and I would say over 99% of applications we're able to cover or adapt something to cover.
Great.
Yep. Thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you both. So we got one coming in for autonomous hauling and trolley assist. Any conflicts with running both systems together, Balu?
Yeah, thanks, Dana. That's a good question. As you know, We have autonomous available on 794 as the first electric truck model that's available, that's going to be available on autonomous. We have the trolley assist available on 795. We have not put these things together. Our engineers are planning ahead when these systems will have to work together. And so to answer the question, we don't exactly know what are all involved, but we know from a space climb perspective, potentially the trolley assist hardware and autonomous hardware are in the same place on the truck. And electronically autonomous, the GPS systems might have some interference with the overhead lines. So we are aware of those situations, and it needs to be part of the development as we go through the project. Whenever we develop trolley for 794, our plans are to make sure that it is going to be autonomous ready, being able to work with autonomous in future. So.
Thank you. All right, we got another one coming in. I think this one is for Eric. It was mentioned that a 797F truck has about 250 data channels. I understand it is a lot, but are there discussions for having even more parameters monitored to increase troubleshooting efficiency?
Sure, I can definitely answer that one, Dana. It's a great question, and it really makes you think back a little bit as to, the history. I tell you what, there was a time where we thought 250 was the limit, and it is only scratching the surface now. But what I will say is that this is actually hitting the nail on the head relative to some of the future investment in the large mining truck space. Specifically in ultra class, we are going to be picking up some of the what we're calling the next generation architecture that will span the full product line. And with that comes exactly what is being proposed here. We're going to have additional ability to monitor to a much higher degree, a lot more information that's going on each of our trucks. But more importantly, what do we do with that data? And that's where the next gen truck really is going to shine. We're going to be able to really up our game relative to next generation analytics, technician troubleshooting, exactly what's being mentioned in this question. So we're excited to bring that next generation to the marketplace on the various trucks here in the coming years.
Great, thanks, Eric. Got another one on trolley. Balu, why do you say Caterpillar trucks have the highest power when it comes to trolley?
All right, that's a good question. Thanks, Dana. Well, Caterpillar electric trucks, the electric drivetrain, I think we mentioned before, it's very solid. It has the pedigree coming from locomotive experience, and from the beginning, the electric drive development for the Cat trucks has been to make sure that we have most reliable components for the electric drive system. As a matter of fact, 794 and other trucks, the electric drive systems have been the solid performers when it comes to reliability and component lives. So with that background, the power that's available for trolley that comes from the capability of the traction motors, because diesel engine is not part of the picture when you are operating on trolley. So if you look at electric drive truck performance, the truck traction motors have higher capacity than diesel engines. I'll throw an example. For example, 794, the diesel engine power is 3,500 horsepower, but between the two traction motors, we have 6,000 horsepower available on the traction motors. So in the trolley system, since there is no limit to the power, you are basically can be pumping all the way to 6,000 horsepower to the traction motors and utilize that. That translates into higher speed on grade as well. So that's why we say our trucks have the highest power, And the 6,000 horsepower that we are talking about is an easier, there is an easier way to reference that. It is what the retarding capability that most truck manufacturers mention. So we talk about 6,000 horsepower as a capacity of our retarding system, whereas it's much lower with other players in the marketplace. So that power, when in trolley, translates into propulsion power. So naturally, that's where we excel in terms of power availability during trolley.
Great. Got another one on trolley for you, Balu. Are the pantographs on the current 795 trucks compatible with 796?
Simple answer is yes. The pantographs, the electric control boxes, some of the hydraulic components, all of those systems are compatible with 796 or 794. The only change is the structural support system, the iron that supports the pantographs. That will have to be modified for the footprint on 794 or 796.
Great. Got another one. I don't know, Thomas, if you want this one. Have customers demonstrated success with rebuilding Caterpillar large mining trucks for a second life? And can I expect similar performance on that second life?
Yeah, thanks, Dana. That's a great question, and the answer is yes. We've got trucks, as I said earlier, that are in their second, third, even fourth economic life. We've got local customers here in Arizona where rebuild is their strategy. They don't want to buy anything new. They just want to rebuild the truck. Whenever you're getting a CAT certified rebuild from your dealer, you're effectively getting the same asset, but it's brand new. So think of, like, let's say if it's your car, you're going to get essentially the same chassis, but everything else is going to be new. Everything comes with warranty. You'd expect to get the same life and everything. So yes, you're getting, in a sense, a new truck, but it is the same asset, and you should get the same life out of that asset.
Okay, got another one for you. Why does Caterpillar promote cost per ton and not cost per hour?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I do want to say, we focus on cost per hour. Cost per hour, or TCO and life cycle cost, that is something that we do look at. We want to look at cost per ton because at the end of the day, if I'm cheaper but I'm producing much less, I might cost you more in terms of cost per ton and cost less in terms of cost per hour, if that makes sense. A piece of equipment, if I've got 1,000 tons to move and I can move it faster with a machine that might cost slightly more, but at the end of the day, my cost per ton is lower, that's the better option. So that's why we, at the end of the day, the overall metric we want to look at is cost per ton, because we're trying to narrow it down. If you focused on just cost per hour, you could be missing out on the production side of the equation. And we do run into that often, is where customers will want to just look at cost per hour. And sometimes it isn't necessarily best in us, having a 3,500 horsepower truck and a 4,000 horsepower truck in the same size class. It isn't best just to focus on cost per hour, because with that additional horsepower, you're getting additional productivity. And at the end of the day, can help you get a lower cost per ton.
Great explanation, Thomas. We got another one coming in for trolley Balu. This one's a tricky one. Is a lightning strike a big problem for an AC truck on trolley assist?
Probability is very, 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 very small. If you think about it, the trolley has infrastructure with poles and overhead lines and all that, which is no different than your electrical lines that you see all over the landscape, your street lighting poles and other things. So that's the kind of the height we are talking about. It has not been an issue. We don't see that as an issue. The DC substations, the AC substations that become part of the infrastructure, they do have robust grounding systems. The trucks themselves have very good grounding systems to protect the components on board the trucks. So between those things, the risk is minimal.
Great. Thank you, Balu. We've got a question for Josh. What is the expected life of a caterpillar body?
That's a good question, and one that I get asked often. It is very dependent upon the application and the customer's strategy and their maintenance practices. So it's very application customer specific. To speak in generalities, though, we target a lightweight body for a 20,000 hour decision point. So at that 20,000 hours, you're either going to decide whether you're going to rebuild it, or you're going to just add an additional liners, or you're going to replace it. So generally, customers choose the rebuild or the reline option, and they'll take it off the truck, set it aside for a week or two, whatever it takes the welders to do. They'll weld up any cracks, address any thin areas on the floor, the sidewalls with new liners, potentially rebore the pivots and put it back to work for a second life, out to 35, 40,000 hours. I would say 40,000 hours for a lightweight body is about what you should expect economically. But there are customers that want to go for the single life body and get the lightest thing possible, and they want it to be basically falling off the truck at 20,000 hours, maximize their payload for that time, and buy another one at that point. So there's a couple of different schools of thought there. It's really what the customer is trying to achieve. But again, I'll go back and say, though, that 20,000 hour point we shoot for is we try to line that up with major component replacements. So that should be when you're doing a truck overhaul of some sort, too. So we don't want to just put the truck down. We want to have it line up with another event that you're going to take the truck down for anyway. So.
Great. Thank you, Josh. So it looks like we have answered all of the questions. Now we still have about 8 more minutes left. So if you guys have any questions, please send them my way. Appreciate all the enthusiasm, the questions that you've been asking. They're great questions. And we are happy to answer any other questions that you may have. And got a new question. All right. So throw this to the team. See who can answer this one. You mentioned multiple power settings on your trucks. How can I figure out which is best for my application? That's a good one. Who wants to take that one?
Well, I can start, Dana, if you like. And this applies to most of the products. So anybody on this panel can answer that. But I will start off. It comes back to your application. It comes back to it starts with the customer. It starts with what is it that they are trying to do, and in what settings that they are trying to do. So I think Thomas explained that a little bit in his TCO talk. If you have a flat haul and you don't need high horsepower, then you can go to a lower horsepower setting and pocket your fuel savings. If you have a deep pit copper application where you have a uphill loaded haul, you need the power to be able to maintain your speed. So then you can crank it up to 3,500 horsepower. So in some cases, it can be in between these two. And that's why we have an in-between setting of 3,100 horsepower, where it's a nice balance between fuel consumption and speed on grade. So the beauty of this solution is you don't have to change the engine. You have the same engine, and you are getting the same product. But depending upon how your mine plan changes and how your application challenges impact you, you have the flexibility to just flip off a switch, change to a different power, and get the full benefits of our products.
Great. Thank you, Balu. So it looks like we have answered all the questions that I have seen coming in. Oh, wait, here we go. We've got more. Okay. Sounds like a service question, reliability. We're experiencing reliability issues with the ESTAT module on the C175 engine. Can you offer any advice to address this?
Dana, I'll jump in on that one. I think the normal steps here relative to any product-related issues are first to contact your local Caterpillar dealership. If we can't get the issues resolved from that perspective, then I know that they have the proper channels to engage the factory product support teams to try to get a proper resolution in place.
Great, thank you, Eric. Ooh, this one's good. What type of research and development is conducted around operator ergonomics in the cab, seat improvements, and layout? I can help answer that. Okay,
I can jump in on that. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know if one of the guys wanted to, because we really take this seriously. Those operators spend their entire working day in the cabs. So they are definitely the number one voice of customer for any time we make a change relative to the cab area and cab environment. So we actually have had multiple operator councils over the last few years. And we have taken that feedback and identified and affinitized, identified what would make sense to go into our products. And you'll see this will be kind of a teaser for our next gen product line that we'll take across the products over the next few years. You'll see that rolling out in the cab area, and I think it will be a delighter for operators out there operating new Cat equipment.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say, Steve. That's part of our next generation strategy. All right. I think we got time for maybe one more question if we have it, but it looks like we've answered them all. So I think with that, I am going to wrap it up. Appreciate everyone's time. And as well, we would really ask that you stay connected with us, right? So whether it's going to your local Cat dealer, or if you want to hear from us, we have several newsletters that we send out on a regular basis that have various topics, including those about Ultra Class. And as well, you can always go to our cat.com/mining. There you will find all kinds of resources and videos to watch about our products. And then as well, we ask that you follow us on social media. We take this very seriously. We really like social media. We post daily, and we really want to hear from you on our social media channels as well. So with that, really appreciate everyone joining us. And Steve, if you want to say some final words.
Absolutely, I will. As I said in the beginning, I'm honored to be a steward of this product line. It's very important to Caterpillar to continue to listen to our customers and make improvements that deliver more value. So we just appreciate you taking the time to attend this session, and we're eager to have more conversation with you. Reach out through the dealers and look for more of this type of information coming up. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. And thanks everyone for joining. And we will, this is recorded, so we will send out a follow-up link for those that would like to watch it again, or those that were not able to attend. So appreciate your time and have a great rest of your week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.